This is Don Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that has shaped my whole life without me even realizing it, and that is my relationship with money. And honestly, I could describe it in one word. That is fear. Fear. Why? Because growing up, money was never neutral to me. Money wasn't a tool. Money was a threat, a conflict, a sin, a monster that could destroy people. Literally, that was it. Growing up, I thought money was that. But as I got older, I realized that if I do not heal this, I will spend my whole life pushing away the very thing I'm praying for, my dreams, my goals, right? So today, I'm going to tell you the story of how I grew up terrified of money and how I am finally, slowly, and lovingly healing that fear. Okay, so this might seem or feel familiar to you, so prepare yourself, take a deep breath. Yeah. I want to start my story in sharing how I grew up, where I grew up, because I grew up in the province, in the farm, around people who work hard in the land and carry the heat, carry the struggle, and people who lived by effort. I've seen my parents, like my mom, my father especially, who works in effort and not please. And in that world, there were always two kinds of people, okay? From my own observation. And that is the farmers and the hacienderos. The hacienderos are the landowners in the Philippines, okay? And they do not have like a very good image to us historically and even now, okay? Let's be for real. So there are farmers and there are hacienderos. My parents, me, and my parents, we are farmers. The ones who worked and the ones who owned. So those are the classifications. And I will never forget how brutal the hacienderos could be. Those in domination, how they would talk to the farmers, to us, how they would treat them, how one command from them could stop someone's could put someone's life into poverty or give a break or end their income or humiliate someone publicly. Like, they had the money, they had the land, and therefore they had the power. And when you're a child watching that, your nervous system will record. It records everything, right? So to me, it registered something like, I saw people kneel metaphorically. I saw fear in the eyes of grown men. I saw how money made someone untouchable. Fear of. So from a very young age, I learned very fast that money turns people into monsters. I didn't know anything about economics or structural inequality or generational wealth. No. All I knew was my experience, and that experience are those who had money caused the most fear, and those who had no money suffered the most pain. So my brain made a conclusion that money is equals to danger, power is equals to cruelty, and rich is equals to evil. And without realizing it, I carried that belief into adulthood. It was rough for me, man. Now, there's another fear apart from that, which is the religious fear of money. Okay, stay with me. So, I grew up in a religious family, a very religious one. I still have like memories. We would go to one church to another, and then we even have images of like Jesus, Nazareth, Mary, Joseph in our home. Okay, so that's how religious my family is. Are, yeah. And you know how religion is. It adds poetry to your life, right? And sometimes it adds fear. My family, they always quote something in the Bible. For example, there is danger in riches, okay? Blessed are the poor. Another one, you cannot serve both God and money. And most famous line is that the love of money is root of all evil. Bakit ganon? Pero, as a child, I didn't hear the nuance, okay? I didn't understand the context. I didn't understand the scriptures, okay? And that scripture isn't anti-money. It's anti-greed, anti-harm, anti-idolatry, right? What I heard was that money is equals to evil, poor is equals to holy, rich is equals to sinful. And my family reinforced it with stories. Okay? The rich man and the Lazarus. The rich young ruler who could not give up his possessions. Judas selling Jesus for silver. Alright? Another one. Solomon losing his way because of wealth. The warnings in Proverbs about riches fading, the story of Ananias and the Sapphira lying about money, all of this, okay, we're taught with one message, which is be careful, money corrupts. That's all I understood. So imagine this, you grew up seeing brutal rich people in real life. Then you go home and hear stories of rich people in the Bible who fall into destruction. Imagine the fear that brought to me about money. Of course I became scared. Of course I felt guilty wanting more. I couldn't want more. Like I didn't have a desire to even want things Of course, I judged myself every time money came into my life, and I even pushed money away because I cannot have that in my bank account. That is too much, you know? My child brain learned that having money is dangerous spiritually and socially. And suddenly I realized something. I didn't just fear money. I feared that money might turn me into, it might turn me into a monster, an evil person, something like that. Seeing money that destroys family is another factor, and I've seen this a lot in my neighborhood. Okay, we go to this part of story now wherein I I have observed how money destroys relationships, and I've seen families fight over inheritance. I've seen friendships break over utang. I've seen couples split because of financial secrets, money issues. I've seen siblings go to court over property, and I've seen wealthy families fight. They are already wealthy, imagine that. Over who controls what. I've seen even poor families fight because there isn't enough, sadly. And even in movies, teleseries, the news, politics, money is always painted as evil, as the villain. So my brain stitch all these stories together. I cannot. It concluded that rich people are evil and that money corrupts your soul, and that money causes conflict. Money, I don't want it anymore because it destroys family, it divides people, it ruins lives. And the conclusion I made is that money is not safe. Yes, and anything that doesn't feel safe, your nervous system avoids. That's your normal instinct. Even if you say you want money, even if you pray for abundance, even if you work hard for it, and even if you dream of wealth, if your body believes money is not safe and that money is danger, you will push it away because it's not safe for you. It sabotages it. Your brain loses it. That's why you lose money, you overspend, you avoid, you push, you reject, you fear it. I felt it in my bones. I fear money. I used to fear money. Not because you are irresponsible, but because you were conditioned to survive. This is where healing begins. From this moment. Not with your mind, okay? But with your nervous system. Now, I think the interesting part would be, how did I heal my relationship with money? Okay, and I hope this will be helpful. Mind you, I'm only storytelling, okay? This is just how I did it, okay? I didn't magically fix my relationship with money. It wasn't like that. I didn't wake up one day and say, yes, I love money now. I love money. It's not like that. Okay? Healing didn't begin with money. I began with me. Yes, it began with me. With understanding where the fear came from. Okay? I wrote down everything to understand where my fear in money came from. Okay, let me share solutions to you that help me, the ones I'm still practicing today. Okay, first one is that realizing that money is neutral and that money is not evil. Money is not holy as well. Money is not moral or immoral. Simply neutral. Money amplifies what you already are. That's the real truth. Money amplifies what you already are. If you are kind, money makes you more generous. Okay? If you are truly loving, money lets you help more people. And if you are grounded, money expands your possibility, your reach. Okay? Money does not change character, it reveals it. This freed me. This realization freed me. Okay? Another thing that helped me is that separating the rich people from systems. Okay, for example, the hacienderos. The hacienderos were not monsters because they were rich. They were monsters because they were unhealed people. They have their own individual problem. It is not their money that made them evil. Okay, systematic inequality is real. Abuse of power as well is real. But wealth itself is not cruelty. Cruelty is cruelty, period. Power simply exposes cruelty. If you are cruel itself, if you really are truly cruel, power exposes it. Yeah. And then another thing I did is I healed my younger self. And that is by telling and talking to myself in the mirror, saying that you are safe now. Money cannot hurt you. You can have money and still be good. Like every morning in front of the mirror when I wake up, I've said that to myself. I don't know for how many months. I didn't care. I'm gonna do that for myself in my mindset that time. I will do this to myself. This is for me to make me better. I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway. It's not gonna harm any people. It's not gonna harm me. I'm gonna do it. So I just delivered those words. I've written that in front of the mirror so that when I wake up, before I even brush my teeth or like wash my face or take a shower, right? I get to have that moment to myself to face my younger self and, heal the fear that I used to have. From childhood. Yeah. Little me, she's so kawawa. No, she's not kawawa. She's just so sweet. And she didn't know anything yet. But now, she's better now. She's better. Spiritually. What did I do spiritually? This is another solution I used, wherein I redefined money spiritually. Okay, I realized something important. For example, in the Bible doesn't say that money is evil. Okay, it says the love of money, the obsession, idolatry, blind greed, those are the dangerous part about money. Jesus had wealthy supporters, okay? Solomon was blessed with wealth. Esther lived in a palace. And Joseph became powerful in a wealthy empire, okay? Abundance is not ungodly. Destruction is. Destruction is ungodly. Yeah, I also healed my spiritual relationship with money that way, by that realization. And I also applied, okay, regulating my mind, my brain. I had to teach my body that money is not danger anymore. And you know, some people could do breath work, meditation, or somatic grounding, maybe journaling, creating safety cues around money. But for me, what applied to me the most is tapping, because in tapping, I feel safe. Okay, when I do tapping, I feel safe, wherein abundance becomes possible to me. You know, tapping, like doing this and then having your meditation. Maybe I will do that and share that to you, how I do tapping, my tapping method with the same. I have my own, I created my own tapping prayer or tapping meditation. I don't know how you call it, but it helped me a lot. It helped to reconstruct my brain, the processing of my nervous system. Okay, it rewired, it helped me rewired everything in my brain. I did that for over a month. Okay, maybe I can do it for a month, but for over a month, because you know, I love myself. I will do everything for me to help me heal and move forward in life. Okay, so that is how my story is. That is how my story of fear about money came about in my life, and how I healed my relationship with it. So if you grew up like me, afraid of money, or guilty about money, confused about money, I even remember, you know, I I had a big chunk of money, and then I was like, I pushed it away because I didn't know what to do about it, and I fear having it in my energetic field. I feared having that in my bank account, in my wallet, so I just gave it away. I gave it away to my family, but like, I didn't even care what they will do about it. I just poured it to them. I'm like, sure, I'm not dealing with that, because I didn't feel safe with it. Okay, but now that I have healed those parts, those that fear about money, and I have fixed my relationship with money, I am now very careful of my money. I'm like, girl, we're growing together. Yeah, girl, we're growing together. Love that for us. I hope this will be helpful to you. And yes, it's a good idea to create a money tapping method, or money healing tapping method. I don't know how you call it, honestly. I'm not, but it's a method that really helped me heal. Take care of your brain, Your brain is your best friend. Take care of it. Till next time.